Okay, Excel tutorial 2. This is on formatting a workbook. Look over formatting text, numbers, and dates, font colors and fill colors, merging ranges of cells, built-in cell style, applying a different theme to a table, applying built-in table styles, conditional formatting, looking at hiding a worksheet row or column, inserting print titles, print areas, and print breaks, page breaks, and then headers and footers. So once you get the data entered into a Excel worksheet, for instance, like a budget, you're going to then begin looking at font style, colors, making color schemes, borders, to where it looks more professional and easier to read. Excel has a theme you can apply that does give default fonts, colors, and graphics throughout the workbook. And then as you work, there's a live preview that shows you the effects of the formatting as you are applying them. So when you select an area, say a cell or a selection of cells, you can then select a typeface, font style, font size. Typeface could be an example of Times New Roman, maybe a font style of Times New Roman, and a font size of maybe 24 point for like a header. When you select a theme, there's 12 colors that belong to that theme, and you have standard and custom. You can apply a color by selecting a range of cells and then clicking the font color and then applying that color, that fill color that you want. You just want to make sure the color does complement the text. If it's a black text, you want the color in the back to be a lighter text. Then also there's a mini toolbar that pops up anytime you select a text for formatting, bolding, italicizing, making the font bigger or smaller. One of the things I don't recommend, but goes over, is setting a background image in the Excel spreadsheet. Sometimes it is hard to read the Excel spreadsheet if there's a background image, but you can do that. You select the areas that you want the background image to be in, page layout, background button, and then go and browse out and find the image and insert it. By default, when you type any information in a cell, it's going to be general number format, and you can change that to comma style, decimal, percent, or accounting format. So an example I'll give you here, on the second tab here, got some data. Here at the bottom it's unformatted. This is formatted a little bit. Let me just show you what I did this upper part here on just formatting alone. These are all just units sold and then the increase of how many were sold. This is what I want to format right now. Right now it's just a percentage decimal. I want to convert it to as it is up here. So I just select the range of cells that I want to convert to percentage. Right click, format cells, go to number, percentage. I'll leave it at 2 decimals. Click OK. Now it converted that cell range to the proper decimal or percentage that I wanted. Also, you'll notice here I put a background image or background fill just by selecting, right clicking, formatting, going to the fill area and selecting a fill for that complements the color. Now also date and times within Excel do appear as text, and they're actually numbers that measure an interval between the specified date and time, like January 1st, 1900 at 12 a.m. Additional alignment within cell references, you have You can align at the top, bottom, left, right, and then decrease, increase, just to name a few. So if I wanted to come in here and to bring in the cell reference to be increased or decreased, I could do so. On this example here, I'll do regions possibly. And I'll expand this column to where you can see that a little bit more. And I'm going to increase and decrease the region. And you know, it's just doing it one by one for formatting purposes. Also, you can select a portion of a cell individually and increase it, or a range of cells and increase it one by using the indent or decrease button. And it's this one right up here at the top of your home tab, where you do decrease indent or increase indent. Merging cells is popular for titles and formatting titles. On this example here, originally this one was not merged. I'll go ahead and unmerge it to show you. I'll unmerge the cells as they were prior. Let's put it back the way it was. This is merged separately. Okay. Now to merge those cells, I just select the cells. I want to merge all across these columns from A to F. Same with this one, A to F, to merge them. And then I also took this and brought up the font size to 22 and the font color to this color here, this red accent 2. Now, rotating cells is another way to save space and also make your sheet sometimes look more professional. In the alignment group, the orientation button is where you choose that. So in this example here, I've already done it to this one up here at the top, but I'll go ahead and do it to this one here. I have X410. I want to merge first, and then I'm going to go here to the alignment orientation, and I want to do a rotate text up. And I'll also take and put a background color there. I'll format that fill to be something a little different. There we go. And I'm going to change this one up here to match the format fill for the left side there. A little dark. I'll make it a little lighter than that. There we go. Okay. So that's how you rotate a label to take up less space and also to allow it to look aesthetically better on the page and to fit better on the page. So now we can take this A column, now that I've rotated it, and make these tables look a little bit nicer and fit a little bit better onto the spreadsheet. Now, borders of cells is needed, especially when you're printing this out. On the screen of Excel, you'll notice you can see the cell borders, but by default, let me show you this one up here. I've added borders. This one here I haven't. I'll go to print preview to show you the difference of the two. Let's go back to this one. I'm going to get rid of the cell references here, cell borders, just to show you. I'm going to get rid of all the ones I put in there. Back to none. There we go. Now let's see this. Okay, as you can see here, there is no lines anymore in the table. And to put that back, all I need to do is select the area that's the table. I'm going to go to Format Cells. I want to do Outline and Inside. First of all, you're to select a line first, then Outline Inside. And if you wanted to get rid of one or add one, you actually can click it here in the box itself. But I want both a line in the middle and all the way around border. In fact, on the border, I want it a little thicker, so I'm going to click on that one. A little thicker line for the border. There it is. And so now I'm going to show this to you here. There it is. Okay. Now I want to show you the next part here, which is when you're formatting cells, a lot of times after you formatted cells, you want to copy that format and paste it onto another cell range or table range. And in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and take this and leave it like it is right now. I am going to take off the formatting for the numbers here, put it back to general like it was before. Now I'm going to select this top table here. I'm going to make a little change here. I'm going to format the fill to a little different color. There we go. And now I'm going to select everything. Click on the Format Painter. Go down to the other table I want to apply this Format Painter to. And now you'll note that the top and bottom table have now been formatted accordingly. And the same. The formatting from here was now applied to this. Numbers are not applied, just the format. Now the other thing I can do with this table is these tables is actually show on this increase column a color behind it using the data conditional formatting. And let's go ahead here on your PDF to show you where that's at. Let's skip ahead a little bit on that to show the conditional formatting. There it is. Conditional formatting basically allows you to apply a cell's value to meet a certain criteria, and conditional formatting allows you to do such things as data bars to background data bars to the numbers. So I'm going to select E7 through E14, go over to conditional formatting, data bars, and I'm going to select this green. Now you'll notice you'll have green that expand according to the number. It looks like you have everything 248 to 321, 321 being the highest, and so it's got a longer bar here on 321. The red denotes the negative value. Negative 124 decreased in sales and negative 249 decreased in sales in this category. And so again, that's a data bar. You select the range that you're wanting to apply data bar conditional formatting. Go to data bars, and then you can hover over the data bars and it'll show you what it looks like before you apply it. I'll also do it down here in the bottom portion. You just want to be careful on the data bars that you only select the numbers that you want the gradient fill to be applied to. For instance, in this bottom one here, notice I have from 1668 to the highest one in this one, it looks like 2238. But if I included the total, you'll see a little difference in the increase. And I don't want that. I don't want to include the total because it would throw off the values of the range. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're applying these. Again, it does look visually appealing when you're presenting this to have the data bars, and it's kind of a nice feature. And one of the other things that this tutorial talks about is doing a page break within. I'm going to get rid of this page break I have in here. I'll remove the page break because I have one in here already. Because right now on this page here, if I go to do a file print, I'll go ahead and do a because anytime you do a file print, you'll notice that it's only going to the active sheet. But if I wanted to look at the whole worksheet here, which I do, there's page 1, page 2, and page 3. If I go over here to the second page, one of the differences on the reason that this is not printing out here is I've got what's called a print set only set to this area. So I'm going to change it to select the whole area, both upper and lower table. Go to the page layout, and from here on out I'll go ahead and won't refer to the PDF file. I'm just going to go and show you what the PDF file presentation for this week for tutorial 2 shows you. Page set is one where you go in, or print set is one where you select the area you want printed. You go to the page layout, print area, set print area. And now when I go to file, print, and go to that page, you'll notice it's bringing both in. Okay, but let's say I want to put this one and this one on separate pages, because currently I have the first page, second page, and the third page. Notice my second page, first page is in portrait, second page is in portrait, and third page is in landscape, which you can do. Alright, so let's go ahead and first of all go to the first page, page layout, orientation, here's portrait, second page, page layout or portrait, third page, monthly sales, landscape, because it has a larger, wider comparison. But let's say here I want to take and bring the set print down to just this first one here, print that. I want to do a print set on this one here. But right here, that's where I want to do a page break. Anytime you want to do a page break, you just put your cursor on the cell right below where you want the page break to be. So I'm going to put it here on A16. Go to break, insert page break. Save what I've worked on. Now I'm going to go to file, print again to look at the preview here. So I'm going to print the first of the second one, or yeah, first of the second one, because I've put a page break in here, so it's not going to show up on that pagination. Now I'm going to go ahead and select this again all at once. There it is. There's my first page. My second page, remember, only has the, the title and then the first table, and then I put a page break. There's the second table on the second page, and then the fourth page. So even though this is showing only on one worksheet, I've split it with this page break, set the whole print area to allow it to print this page, and then it'll do a page break where I set it at. To get rid of a page break, all you need to do is put your cursor again on the row right below the page break, go up to page layout, and then you can go up here to breaks, remove, page break. Now if I do that, go back to the print, file print, now they're both on the same page. Okay? Now let's go to this third tab, which does a little bit more formatting, different formatting. One is on this one, we're going to show how to apply a table format, format as table on your home tab. Also, how to, again, do a paste of the format, put a header and footer. And we're also going to do something different. The tutorial doesn't show you here, but I want to put a sales lead and then a drop down combo box here of either John, Joe, or Jim. And then this whole column is going to be hidden, column K, because I don't need it to be shown. A lot of times you'll do that, and it talks about hiding columns and rows within Excel for data that's not needed to be seen by the viewer. And a lot of times lists like this are used for that purpose. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start out here by selecting the data only. Month through all models, January through total. I'm going to go up here, format as table. I'm going to select a format area. There we go. And let's select this one here is fine. Okay, and then you'll notice when I select this again, I'm going to have the design tools up here at the top, and I can put in here header row, which would allow me to do a drop down, but I don't want that. Blended row I can uncheck and check. Again, I'll put this back to where it was. There it is. So I don't want it like that. So I'm going to go back to where it was before. Again, selecting the area. I'm not going to select the header part here, the month. I'm going to leave that alone. I don't want that included. I just want the months and the X310, X410 and all models. Okay, there we go. And I do want it to be banded rows. And I'm going to leave out the header row for this one. I want a box around all of this. I've taken this and put a format cell fill of this color here. Now I want a box all around this and centered. Now I'm going to take and copy this format. There we go. Okay. Save. Control S. Now I'm going to show you here. I want sales lead and I want a drop down here of John, Joe, and Jim. First thing I'm going to do is come over here to John, Joe, and Jim. Go to data. I'm going to create an insert. I'm sorry. Formula of a defined name. So we'll go to the formula tab, define name. and I'm going to name this one sales. It gives a reference here of equal monthly sales K7 through K9, and that's this reference right here. I'll click OK. Or to use that earlier, so I'm going to do Salesforce. There we go. Now this is where I want the drop down to be, and I might want to put a label up here, that way I can just show what I generally do, put a label so I'll know what this is later after I come back to it. And I'll bold it. And I'll put a background on that. Fill background. And maybe I'll put a box around it. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put I want it right here on this cell here, C3, a drop down. Currently there's not a drop down there. But it could be in a meeting, I want to be able to change on the fly different sales lead folks. So I'm going to go over here to the C3. I'm going to apply the list here, Joe, John, and Jim. I'll go to the data tab, data validation. On the allow, I want to change it from any value to list. And I'm going to change the source here now to equals Salesforce. Click OK. And now I've got my drop down, John, Joe, and Jim, that I can select. And if I was to print that out, it would show up also on the printout, that selection that I selected Joe in this case. So go back to that tab here. Now I want to hide this column. I don't want anyone to see it. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to the K column. And let me select the K, and we'll do J, K, and L, all three. And I want to hide those columns. Now you can't see the data on the screen. And next thing I want to do is set the print for this to be correct, print area. So I'm going to select the area I need to. There we go. Print area, set print area. Save. Good. Now I'm ready to go back to the next one, last one here now, which I'm going to show you, which is header and footer. Header and footer allows you to, again, put in header and footer information. It's in the Insert tab. Click on Header and Footer. And generally, header and footer information is not going to be on the first page, so I usually check this different first page. And it's going to be taken out of that. Okay. So I want different first page. Now I'm going to go to header information. And I want to type in CIS121. Over here, maybe I want to input today's date. And then I want to switch from the header information directly to footer. So I'm just going to go to footer. And on the footer information, I want to put in page whatever of whatever. I'm going to word page of number pages. So page and then page of number pages. Now I'm going to click away. It should say page 1 of 1. Now let's go ahead and look and see what it looks like on a print preview. Notice no header and footer on the first page. second page, third page does have header and footer. Let's go back and see on the second page here if I included that. Yeah, there it is. Different first page, scale, yeah, that's fine. Make sure it's on this one too. Don't have it on this one. CIS121. We're putting the current date. Switching to the footer. I'll do the middle one. And maybe page, whatever, of, whatever. Save. Now let's try the print preview here. There we go. On the last page. Go on a line with page markers. I'll go back to this first page. I'm going to set the print area on this first page correctly. Make sure it's set here on the second page. And finally, third page. Just one more time to make sure everything's good. Okay. So to recap here, on the second page, first thing we showed you was taking the merge and center of row 1, row 2, taking the font size up to about 22, changing the font color. I did put a background format fill to this one to complement the color. On this one here, I also put background color here, across here. Merged this, made it a rotate text up, shorten the column, make it not as wide. Background color to this whole area here, and then also adding the data, conditional data bars, and then duplicating with the format duplicate or format paint onto the bottom one. This tab here did the same thing, except we applied a table format here